everybody? We are coming back with another interview, this time with a big name in the UFC game. I'm just really excited for this one, just because I've grown up watching Mark Munoz, and he's just like one of the first fighters that I actually got the opportunity to watch while getting into UFC. So without further ado, we're going to chat about some things. And the first one I really want to do is put on his movie that he actually starred in as the main role and co-produced. So if you guys haven't heard of it, it's Lumpia with a Vengeance. But let's go and hop in. Let's watch this together.
Bayan ko, all my sexy panoys and panais.
Welcome to Fogtown, where over 60% of the population is Filipino.
Can you confirm that the restaurant incident is the work of the so-called taquito man?
What? This is the taquito everyone is talking about? It's not a taquito.
It's Lumpia, the Filipino egg roll.
The motives of the Lumpia man are still unknown.
Lumpia man knows we're selling out Fogtown High.
What I tell you about these kids? Love that, and love that.
Your sniper took down the mayor as planned.
My henchmen are trained
Danny
to be
Trejo.
100% efficient.
Is that the egg roll man?
No, it ain't him.
Go, 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 go! Hey, you can't eat that. Remember me? You're my hero.
Now's not the time to change the plan.
What plan?
What the?
Please tell me you're a good guy.
It's too Filipino.
It's like soy sauce and salsa getting messy.
Armor together in harmony. Screw your mama's wedding. Fight the bully. You're all wrong. It's all because of this damn Lumpia man.
It took this long for me to find you. I'm not about to lose you, baby. You can be sure I love you forever.
No more! Fogtown will remember me! Taquito Boy!
About to lose you, boy.
Oh man, that looks hilarious. I'm gonna actually have to watch it, but I'm very curious how it will be. It just looks funny. I mean, Danny Trejo to star alongside Mark Munoz is pretty funny. And we're gonna talk more about that during this interview, or sit down and discuss that. But I want to jump into some of Mark's clips. This clip will not have any sound due to copyright, but let's just hop in and let's enjoy some of this here. That's the man himself, Mark Munoz. The dude is a beast, man. I'll tell you that much. The Filipino wrecking machine. It's crazy. The dude was a dog, just jumped on people. And the clips are going to get ready to start right about now. Middleweight fighter at that time. I believe he was fighting Chris Lieben. 7-1. That's crazy. But we're definitely going to get to learn more about Mark as we chat. So stay tuned if you made it this far. And, hopefully we start opening up some Q&As and live streams when we do these. That way people can ask questions and be involved as well. But this is just starting out for us. Anyways, look at this guy. how big he is compared to Mark. Mark just manhandles him. Look at that. KO'd him. Crazy. Yeah, I think this is a Chris Lieben fight. Yeah. No. Yeah, he was definitely one of the first fighters that I've seen. He has a huge Muay Thai background, wrestling. If you haven't seen any of his wrestling clips from college days, his son's a beast too, Trey. Back when UFC was like actual stand-up fighting, nowadays it's like all the extra moves that you could pull off and whatnot. It's just insane. It's insane to me. It's definitely evolved. Anyways, it's about that time that we bring on our guest. Without further ado, I got Mark Munoz live today. Mark, how are you doing?
Great, man. How are you?
Hey, not too bad. I know you got a short amount of time, so we're gonna kind of hop into it, get it going. You coaching today? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I'm coaching at my club's wrestling tournament in Villa Park. So that's where I'll be going.
Gotcha. So, I mean, many people know you from UFC. You're also a father, a coach, and also an NCAA Division I wrestling champion.
Yep.
So I wanted to ask, if you were not doing wrestling and UFC, those kind of things, did you have any other passion for any other sports, anything like that people may not know about? I think I lost you there.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Did you catch that question?
I didn't.
Oh, okay. So I was asking, I mean, if you weren't doing wrestling and UFC, is there any other sport like you had a passion for, or is there something you think you would be doing other than that?
There you go. I'm good now. I just got off my Wi-Fi.
It happens. It happens.
All right, my bad.
Yeah. So, I was asking if you weren't doing UFC or wrestling, like, did you have like another passion for any other sports or any other hobbies?
Yeah, man, I was a sports guy, man. Like I played football. My sister would she would babysit me, and so she took me out to her volleyball practices. So I learned how to play volleyball, and so I played in some volleyball tournaments, like doubles and doubles grass tournaments, and ended up like winning a lot of those and playing volleyball. And so that's why my girls are in volleyball, and I love volleyball. And I ended up going to a church youth group that had a church outreach that had a volleyball kind of tournament, and our whole city of Vallejo, California would go and play in this tournament. It would be huge. It was like a huge tournament. And so I played volleyball and did that for a very long time. And I like to play basketball too, man. Basketball, I mean, a lot of Filipinos like to play basketball. So like,
for sure.
I'm no different. So I like to do, man.
Okay. Did you play like football or anything like in high school?
Yeah.
Anything?
Oh yeah, I played football ever since I was in 4th grade, and then ended up being varsity my freshman year. My sophomore year, and then I broke my ankle after that, and then I focused on wrestling. So and then from there just took off, you know. So wrestling got me to college, and then coached in college for a long time, and then end up getting into the UFC.
There you go.
That's
What
how it
position
went.
did you play for football? What position did you play?
I was an outside linebacker, middle
Okay.
linebacker, and outside linebacker sometimes. So
I can see that.
yeah, man. I was a center too. When I was a freshman, I was a center, and then I was the kicker too.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's a change up.
I actually I punted. Yeah, so I can kick the ball like 50 yards, man. Like
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I played some ball back in high school. I was nose guard. I'm a big guy, man, as you can see. I mean,
Yeah.
6'4", so
Dang, that's good. That's good.
yeah, so it's hard to run up on me, but I used to play some ball. Fractured my ankle in 3 spots.
Oh, yeah.
Bad.
That's tough. Yeah, that's how that's what happened to me. I fell into an 8-foot ditch and at a church camp, and I couldn't play football anymore. Yep. So I tore the heads of my fibula and tibula, and then tore the calcaneus away from my heel, away from my bone, and then it was just my calcaneus was like split in half. So yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I see. Mine happened from tackling our linebacker in a pickup game right after practice. I mean, this guy looked like a Brian Urlacher, Ray Lewis type of linebacker.
Okay.
So I mean,
Nice.
Go ahead.
I said nice.
Yeah,
Well, not
it was-
nice that happened to you, but like those guys, you go against those guys, man, you're gonna be tested,
Oh, for sure. So you told me a little bit about your sports background and things like that. When did you know like fighting was what you were meant to do? Fighting in the wrestling and things like that.
Well, I'm at, in high school I got jumped, so and so I mean that's in Vallejo. I mean it's like I never thought. I mean I'd be walking to school and have seen guys get jumped and bullied, by like 5 or 6 people, just physically beating them up, like I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Never thought that ever happened to me, And so I had some Jordans on and they wanted them, and so they jumped me for them, So, so as I was walking home, so I mean that right there, it was just like an eye awakening experience, So I didn't want to go back to school, because I didn't feel safe, So, so when my parents, I faked being sick, and then when my parents found out that I wasn't sick, they're like, "No, you got to go back to school," And then I didn't want to tell them, I didn't want to tell them what happened to me or anything. So I just, I was like, all right, so whatever. So I went back to school, and just an interesting statistic: over 160,000 students get bullied in the United States of America every day. So
That's crazy.
That's a crazy statistic, right? So, so I was one of those 160,000. So I mean, it was. I was just walking from class to class, looking down, didn't want to look anybody in the eye, because if I looked at somebody in the eye, I felt like I was seen, So I didn't want to be seen. I wanted to be invisible. And so, so I was just walking from class to class, and then during lunch period, I just went to a classroom that was open and just did my homework, whatever, And then a friend of mine comes up to me, goes, "Hey, Munoz, man, where them J's at, man? If I had some J's, man, I'd be wearing them every day." He's like, "I'll be wearing them every day, man. I'll be like, yo, check out my J's, man. They sick, huh?" Like he was just talking, right?
Yeah.
And I was trying to ignore him, but he was like, "Man, Munoz, man, where them J's at?" So he just kept saying that. And then finally, I just welled up in anger, And I stood up from my desk and I was like, "Hey, I didn't feel like wearing my J's today." I clenched up my fist at him and everything. He goes, man, chill out, bro. Like, and he didn't understand, right? He goes, I want to know where your J's are at, And so, and so I told him the story from there, and then when I told him the story, his face dropped. He goes, "Oh man, I didn't know, man." And he put his arm around me. He said, "Hey man, I got your back," you know. And I'm like, I said, "Bro, you ain't got my back, bro. You ain't got my back 24/7, man. You know, where were you when this happened, man? You know what I'm saying?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "You ain't gonna have my back all the time." And so after that, he goes, "Man, you need to learn how to wrestle." I said, "Wrestle? Man, you guys wear tight leotards and touch each other in funny places, man. I'm cool with that, right?"
That's like the stereotype, right?
Yeah. And he goes, "Oh, you think that's funny?" I go, "No, man, it ain't funny. This is what you do, man. I'm going to keep playing basketball and hoop, man. This is what I do." And he goes, "I bet you I can take you down in 10 seconds. I said, "Yeah, right, man. You're barely 5 foot nothing, 100 pounds. At the time, I was 5'6", 150 pounds, right?
Okay.
So I'm like, "Bro, you ain't going to take me down, homie, you know?"
Yeah.
And he breaks down in a stance, like a wrestling stance. So I'm like, "Bro, stand up." You know, like, what you doing, man? And then he shoots in on me, picks me up, slams me on my back. I'm like, in shock. I'm like, dang. Man, I'm like, bro, like, if that tight leotard does that for you, man, I want to do that, you know? So, so I'm like, okay, all right. So I went home and I went to my dad and I said, "Dad, I want to wrestle." And he goes, "Oh, you want to wrestle, huh? You're going to wrestle the first day and the last day and every day in between." I said, "Okay." He goes, "You're not going to quit." I go, "Yeah, all right, that's fine." You know, I didn't know what he was talking about. But I went to the first day of practice and I was like, you know, just going with the flow. You know, coach is like, "We'll warm up, this and that." And I was warming up, and then they were like, "All right, it's time to drill." And they would show us a technique, and then he showed us a double leg, and I was, you know, learning the double leg, and I'm like, "Oh man, this is what James did to me, man. I can't wait to do this back to him, right?" I'm like, double leg, learning how to double leg, and then, you know, some time goes by, and he goes, "All right, guys, time to go live," you know, and I'm like, "Live? What does live mean? I am alive." What does live mean? And he goes, my partner goes, no. He's gonna tell us to go, and then we go try to take each other down, and like, you know, all that stuff. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, like 100%." He goes, "Yeah, 100%." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I remember the coach putting me in the double leg, or no, putting my partner in the double leg, and he goes, "All right, when I blow the whistle, you're gonna go live." And I remember thinking, man, but he didn't teach us how to defend a double leg. He only taught us how to be offensive. Like, how am I gonna defend this, right? And then he blows the whistle, and the guy takes me down, like slams me, and I'm like, "Oh, dang!" And he cross-faces me, my lip starts bleeding. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this, man. You know, I mean, this dude was good. You know, he was just beating me up, and so I'm like, I don't know. And then I ended up getting a black eye from practice, and like that was my first day. You know, and so I was like, you know, so the next day was practice, and I didn't feel like going, so I kind of stayed at home, you know. And my dad came home for some odd reason. He was home. He goes, "What you doing? What you doing home?" It's 4 o'clock. I'm supposed to be at practice. Practice started at 3:30. I go, "Dad, I don't feel like wrestling anymore." He goes, "What?" He goes, "Nah." He took me by the arm, threw me in the car, drove to practice, presented me in front of the coach. He says, "Hey, Mark Munoz is here. See you later, Coach Manan." I'm like, Dad, you don't understand, you know? So then I was like, oh, whatever. And then Coach Manan comes over to me and goes, "Hey, man, what happened? Well, what's going on?" I go, "Coach, I just don't feel like wrestling anymore." He goes, "What? Really? Come here. Let's have you drill, you know?" And he just took my mind off of it. And then fast forward, 4 years later, I was a 2-time state champion, high school national champion, get a full ride scholarship to Oklahoma State, you know? So it's just like crazy how those events happen, right? And so
for sure,
my dad wouldn't let me quit. My coach kind of, you know, allowed me to, like, you know, learn the sport more and kind of ease me into it. And so, and now I'm a full-out wrestler, man. Like, I coach, wrestling.
There.
I coached in college for over 15 years, and so it's like, you know, and then I got into the UFC, and I coach MMA wrestling, and I coach my wrestling club, and I still coach college kids, you know, they come still see me, you know. So wrestling is just a part of me now, you know. So and I thank wrestling for a lot of things, man. If I didn't wrestle, I wouldn't have met my wife, you know. So I went to Oklahoma State, met my wife, had my family, and I'm just blessed through the sport of wrestling, you know. So that's why I'm giving back. That's why I'm giving back and giving back to kids and to high school, to elementary, middle, and high school students, even college kids, you know. So, so yeah, that's what I do now, man.
There you go. So, what made you pick Oklahoma State? Like, of all schools, right? I mean, you know, did you have other offers? Did you have any other looks from anywhere else?
Yeah, I was one of the top recruits in the nation. So I was.
There you go.
I mean, I had Harvard, I had Cornell, I had Stanford. So I had good grades. And then I had Illinois. I had a lot of offers. But the reason why I picked Oklahoma State was because when I got hurt and when I broke my ankle, I ended up watching this video called "How Low Can You Go" with John Smith. And John Smith was the head coach at Oklahoma State. And he's arguably the best American wrestler ever, you know. So I mean, he's a 2-time Olympic champion, 6-time world champion, and the head coach at Oklahoma State still, you know. So, I mean, he's been there forever, you know. So, and so when he called me up, I was like, oh, man, just John Smith. What? You know? I remember watching him in the Olympics and everything. I'm like, dang, John Smith calling me, you know? So, I mean, I was starstruck. And then when I went on a recruiting visit there, he goes, hey, you know, we like big kids, you know, wrestling like how you wrestle, you know, because I wrestled like him, you know. So he goes, I can really, you know, help you. And, you know, we got a great program here. Traditionally, we're the best college program in the nation. And I was like, And they had engineering at the time. That was my major. I wanted to get into engineering, you know, and so I was like, they got my major, and this is John Smith, so Oklahoma State's it, you know. So, but I was also getting offers from Stanford and Harvard and all those other, you know, Ivy League schools, and my parents were like, you should go there, you know, like you get a degree from those schools, man, you know, you're set. I'm like, nah. I'm good. I want to wrestle for John Smith, you know. So that's how I got to Oklahoma State, man. You know, and
your son's there now, right? I mean, he wrestles there, and
you know, my son wrestles at Oregon State because
Oregon State.
My teammate and a kid. I graduated and I coached him for 2 years.
Okay.
It was Chris Pendleton. When I coached Chris, he babysat my son. And so Chris Pendleton's the head coach there. And, you know, my son just has a connection with him. And he was at Arizona State first. So my son went to Arizona State. And then when Chris Pendleton took the head coaching job at Oregon State, my son followed him. So that's why he's at Oregon State now.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I had seen his Instagram, and I seen the orange tights or spandex singlet. Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, there you go. I had seen that, so I was like, okay, Oklahoma State, but no, it's Oregon State. So I appreciate you correcting me on that.
Yeah, it's all good.
So my buddy, you know, he's a huge UFC fan. And his dad is served in the Navy, just like yours.
My dad. Yep.
Yeah. So he wanted me to ask you some questions. I said, "Hey man, ask me some questions." He's Filipino too, so
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
His
when you're
name
in
is
the
RJ.
Navy, man. RJ, I got a cousin named RJ. There's a lot of Filipino RJs.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So he wanted me to ask you, like, the first question was, who's your inspiration?
Man, I mean, I got a lot of inspirations, right? My parents, first off, my parents, my sister, they inspire me every day to become better. And then I came from a church, a community Bible church in Vallejo, and a lot of my friends inspired me to become better too. My Bible study leaders, Jeff Cooper and Francis Aquino, those guys. But I mean, like I've been fortunate enough to have great people in my life.
For sure.
And like I just, I was just super blessed, man, because I could have went in the wrong direction for sure, but I decided to humble myself and I saw what people were doing, and I was very observant, and I was like, okay, I want to do what he's doing. I want to treat people the way he's treating people, and how he gets respect, So I was like noticing all that stuff, and I noticed all the good athletes and all the great wrestlers and football players, how they worked so hard, And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna work hard too, So it's like, I was blessed to have people like that in my life, and then my wrestling coaches, Mike Minahan and Bobby Gonzalez. Bob Gonzalez, those guys, man, they helped me too, even through the trial of me getting bullied, and all that stuff. It was amazing, So, so like I said, I had a lot of people in my life helping me, So, and I'm very fortunate to have that support system around me, And I just I hope, and I wish, and I pray that other people would have that too, because if it weren't for that support system, I don't know, I'd probably still be in Vallejo trying to gangbang or whatever,
Exactly.
So it's like, it's not a good thing, to kind of succumb to, like that kind of stuff, So yeah, I mean, when I got to Oklahoma State, and then I was there, more of my story, I ended up getting a call from this guy named Lenny Zaleski, who wrestled for the University of Iowa, and we're huge rivals with Iowa, And so when he called me, I was like, man, why is this dude calling me? Like, he's from Iowa.
Yeah.
But he said, man, I heard your thing about coaching, and I would love to hire you as my associate head coach or head assistant. I'm like, sweet, okay, because I was getting paid at Oklahoma State like $700 a month, and I already had 2 kids. It's like, coach, I'm on food stamps. Like, I need more money. And he's like, well, go wrestle in some tournaments, win some tournaments. Because you got paid, and I got sponsors. To help me and stuff. And so I was just kind of struggling a little bit, but when I got offered that job at UC Davis, where they were going to pay me $75,000 and benefits, I was like, oh dang. And I'm closer to home. I'm like, oh, sick. Like, well, we're moving to California.
There you go.
So that's what happened. We moved to California, miles away from my hometown. So I got to see my parents, often, and I got to coach at UC Davis alongside Lenny Zaleski, and so that was a really cool experience, and so there I met Uriah Faber, because he wrestled at UC Davis, and Uriah, at the time, I was like cornering him in his fights, and he's like, hey man, you should come train. I was like, okay. So he didn't have Ultimate Fitness yet. He didn't have his gym yet. So I came and trained. We trained at this community college called Sierra College. Man, this was who was there. Randy Couture, Brandon Vera, Quinn Rampage Jackson, Peter Ortiz, Frank Trigg, James Irvin, Scott Smith. Like, that was like the who's who of MMA. You know, it was like, and then I'm watching, and I just barely started. You know, like I was training, and you know, I mean, I knew how to fight. You know, but like these dudes were like professionals. You know, and so Uriah was like, hey, can you run like the wrestling portion? I'm like, yeah, man, for sure. I'll run the wrestling portion. And so when I started running the wrestling portion, they all loved it. And then Uriah, after it was done, was like, all right, guys, time to spar. I'm like, oh, shoot, time to spar? Like, oh, man. So, like I'm like, spar, like what? Wrestling, sparring? He goes, no, MMA. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. So I was like fading away in the shadows, like gonna kick my feet up, get some popcorn, some soda, and watch it. You know, I was like, oh, damn, sick. Right? But there was 9 guys in the gym. There's an odd number. And then Uriah comes around the corner with a pair of gloves, pair of shin guards, and a headgear. He goes, hey, bro, do me a favor. I said, heck no. I ain't gonna spar these dudes, man. These dudes about to knock my head off, man. I got a wife and kids, man. I got to be alive. You know, like, you're like, oh, man, all you got to do is double jab, double leg, you'll be fine. I'm like, double jab? Come on, bro. Like, I could double leg all day, but, like, come on, man. Like, I haven't done MMA yet. He goes, man, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just do it. I'm like, all right, man. All right. You know, so I was jabbing, you know, it was like, and then I was jabbing Randy Couture, you know, and I was jabbing him and I was getting him. I was like, oh, shoot, this jab works, you know. I was popping his head back, and then he would move his head and like 1-2 me, because he was very experienced, you know. And then you know, I tried shooting. Once he punched me in the face, I'm like, oh, you revert back to all your like you revert back to like what you know, right? And so I started shooting to him, you know. I started shooting at him, and he sprawled, and then we got into a scramble, and I remember grabbing his legs. I was like, ooh, I'm in on a double leg. I was like, oh, dang. I picked him up, I slammed him, and I started like throwing bombs from heaven. I was like, ooh, you know, so I'm like throwing bombs, right? I'm trying to knock him out. And then he's like, hey, man, no. We don't try to knock each other out, man. Like, you know, I got to fight in 2 weeks, bro. Like, okay. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. And I guess he was mad or something, but he spin me against the case, kneed me in the body, elbowed me in the chest. I'm like, wait. I thought we weren't supposed to be doing this, you know? But anyways, afterwards, he sat me down. He goes, hey, Munoz, man, you are a natural. I'm like, no, man, you're a natural, man. You can't call me that, you know? So, and so from there, and then Uriah goes, see, I told you. And so, so I decided to fight, get into MMA. And, dude, literally like 11 months later, I was in the UFC.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I ended up fighting a lot, and I ended up fighting 4 times that year, and then I got into the WEC. WEC folded because Zuffa bought it off.
Yep.
And then I was one of the few that got pulled up to the UFC, you know? So
yeah, I mean, you fought some big names, man.
Yeah, man.
Some big names, Lyoto Machida. I mean, Tim Boat.
Yeah, he was my boy, dude. Lyoto and I were like buddies, you know. He was supposed to fight Tim Kennedy. I was supposed to fight Michael Bisping.
Oh man.
I was teaching him some takedown stuff and all that stuff, you know, because he wanted to learn that stuff. And all of a sudden, I get this call from Dana. He goes, "Hey man, we need you to fight Lyoto." I'm like, "Oh no, like what? What happened to Bisping?" Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, he got hurt. Tim Kennedy got hurt." So we need you guys to carry the car. And I'm like, oh, wait. But I trained him in all wrestling, like all my stuff, you know? Yeah. And he goes, hey, man, I mean, we need you to fight. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, and then Lyoto was like, hey, I need to fight. And I'm like, I need to fight too because I need to provide for this gym and my family, you know?
Yeah.
And, and he goes, hey, all right, so I guess we're going to fight. So I was like, man. So our training camp, we split up, you know? The Gracie brothers, Henner went in his corner, Hito went in my corner. Then our striking coach, Rafael Cordero, ended up going in his corner, who I was with for 4 years before Lyoto, you know? So it's like, oh, man, this guy knows everything about me. So it was just like, it was crazy, man. Like, I wasn't mentally, I mean, it was all bad, you know? So,
I bet.
Yeah, anyways, I mean, we're still cool, you know, but it kind of put a damper on things, you know? But I mean, that's just a fight game, though, you know. Like, it's just how it is, and it was back then. It was like, you know, like, I mean, that's why Anderson Silva and I aren't you know, cool anymore because I was getting to a point where I was gonna fight him, and then I even said, like, you know, I fought Lyoto, and I used to wrestle like some of my best friends, and so, you know, and I want to be a world champ too, you know. So, you know, if I have to fight Anderson, you know, I you know, I'm gonna have to, you know. And so when I said that, Anderson didn't like that, and so,
oh man,
I was just like, oh man. It was just like, oh man, you know, like I didn't like feel like I said anything bad, but like Anderson didn't like that, you know. So
for sure.
And I didn't mean it in that way, you know, but he didn't see it that way, you know. So it kind of split our camps off, and we haven't trained ever since, you know. Crazy.
Man, yeah.
I know. So I mean,
things happen for a reason, though, right?
Yeah, no. Yeah, everything happens for a reason. You know, we're still cordial. I still love the guy, you know. And then Minotauro and Minotauro, like all those guys, and Junior Dos Santos and Alfredo Dos Anjos, like we're all cool, but like, you know, it's just kind of put like, you know, like a wedge in between our relationship, you know. So it's kind of crazy, man. Like, and I don't like that. Like, I want to go up to him and apologize. Like, hey, man, I didn't seem like I didn't want to do that, you know. But I didn't think it would hurt you, you know. But anyways, like, it is what it is, you know. So, but yeah, man. You know, I trained with all the best guys. I had Rain Training Center, and you know, a lot of the best guys came to me and trained with me, you know. So, you know, Shogun was there, Fabricio Verdum, Babalu, Lyoto, you know, Uriah Faber will come every now and then. I had like some Japanese guys. I had Ryo Chonin. I had Jay Silva. I had like some Bellator guys, Emmanuel Newton, Brett Cooper. Tito Ortiz would train with us every now and then.
That's crazy. Huge names, man.
Yeah, man. It's like the who's who, right? So
exactly.
that was all that reigned, man. Like we trained all together, man. It was pretty awesome. Really cool.
Fun fact for you: Demetrius Johnson lives about 30 minutes from me, and Randy Couture, Everett, Washington. That's like another 30 minutes from us. So, I mean, we got.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah. So we got some big names coming out of Washington. Terrence T-Rex, he's from Spokane.
Yeah. Now, Misha Tate, she's from around there too, right?
Yeah, Tacoma, which is like 45 minutes. Yeah. So it's pretty crazy. I know you said you have your thing at 7:45. It's 7:44 now. How's your time looking?
Good. I mean, I'm just dropping my daughter off at volleyball, and then I'm gonna head over. So
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. You got a little bit more time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Sweet, sweet. So yeah, I mean, like I said, my friend, he has some questions. He wanted me to ask you, how difficult was it to move every 3 to 4 years? When typically in the MMA world, most fighters train out of their hometown their whole life before getting called up to the UFC. Is that something that kind of pertains to you, being from a Navy family?
Yeah. My dad retired though. So my dad retired and
Oh, okay.
retired in Vallejo. So when he retired, we just kind of stayed in Vallejo. So but like I said, I coached at Oklahoma State, and then I moved back
Yep.
to coach at UC Davis, and that's
Okay.
where I met Uriah Faber. And then Uriah Faber
Gotcha.
brought me out to a training camp with Randy Couture, and then Randy Couture, when I sparred him, he was like, "Hey man, you need to do this. You'll be good at it." And I'm like, "Oh wow." And then Uriah was like, "See, I told you." And that's when I trained. So.
There you go.
So I didn't.
So it kind of happened after the fact.
Yeah, I didn't move all that much. Of course, I was born in Japan, and then my parents, after that, moved to Vallejo, and then that's when my dad retired. So, so I didn't move all that much. Yeah, but I know what he's talking about, man. It would have been hard for sure.
Oh, I bet. He actually said here that he was born in a Navy base not too far from where you lived with your family, and where you guys are stationed. NAF at Sugi.
Yeah, Tsugi in in Japan, right?
Yeah.
So I was born in Yokosuka, Japan. So that's really close. And there's another base in Utsugi. So, but I was only there for 2 years.
Oh,
and
okay.
then my parents moved to Vallejo when I was 2. So I was born in Japan on that naval base, but then moved to Vallejo when I was 2. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Navy thing kind of all happened obviously before your UFC MMA wrestling career and whatnot. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, now that I'm getting to chat with you a little bit more, I know that they say you're like the nicest guy in MMA, and you obviously have your campaigns for bullying and things like that, which is it's awesome because in the beginning of all of this, me and you we were talking, and like you've dealt with some bullying, and I've dealt with bullying as well, and I've been down my roads of being depressed about it and things like that. So. Man, it's wonderful what you're doing for sure. And I mean, obviously that's why you have your gym or you had your gym, right? You don't have a gym no more, correct?
No, I don't, but I coach at the training lab.
There you go.
Which has TJ Dillashaw, Cub Swanson, Juan Archuleta. It has all these other up and coming guys, so those guys are associated, and I train those guys, and now I got some upcoming guys that are good, so you'll probably be seeing them come up here pretty soon. So yeah, I mean, I train at the training lab where Coach Cal, he's kind of world renowned. He's a trainer out there, and he is amazing. So I'm sure you heard about him in the MMA world.
For sure, yeah.
Does nutrition and strength conditioning and supplementation, and he's amazing. So so I coach at the training lab.
Okay, you gonna watch the fights tonight? There's that pay-per-view, Adesanya and who is it?
Yeah, Pereira.
Yeah, who do you got winning that?
Man, I really like Adesanya, man. That dude is very
he's versatile,
dynamic.
Man.
He's very dynamic, versatile. And, I mean, he can strike, he can grapple. Forever, man, he's got power, bro. He gets you, man. You're done. So, yeah. I mean, I just like to watch. I just like to watch what kind of game plan they implement, It's a chess match, man. You know, I mean,
Yeah, anything can happen.
chess match. Yeah, anything can happen. Everyone
Yeah.
has a puncher's chance, you know. So,
Oh yeah.
we'll see, man. We'll see.
What about Burns and Masvidal?
Ooh, two good dudes too,
Yeah.
man. And you know, if it goes to the ground, definitely Burns. You know,
Mm,
if it stays
for
standing, Masvidal. You know,
yeah.
but I see it going to the ground. You
Yeah.
know, Jorge, man, I like Jorge a lot. You know, but
Yeah.
Gilbert Burns on the ground, dude, he's high level, bro. You know,
For sure.
and I see it going to the ground. So
Definitely. If there was a match, a fight that you could have had years and years ago, or even in general, who would you have loved to have fought?
man, Bruce Lee, dog. I would love to have fought Bruce Lee. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, I fought some of the best guys, man. You know,
For
at
sure.
my
No,
time.
huge.
You know, I mean, I can't complain, man. I can't. I mean, I had a great career, you know. So, I don't know. Like, shoot. I don't know. It's not coming to mind. You know, I mean, like, and I, in my gym, I had some of the best guys in my gym too. So it's like I was sparring high level guys like every week, you know. So so when it comes to like some of the best guys, like who would you want to spar? Like I've experienced everybody, you know. So
for sure.
I sparred with some of the best guys, you know, in the world, you know. So I don't know. It would have been really cool to go against Sakuraba. That would have been cool. You know?
Yeah.
Let's see. Hoist Gracie. That would have been
There
cool.
you go.
You know?
Yeah.
Ken Shamrock.
I would have loved to seen the Ken Shamrock, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. Baddest on the planet.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I would have loved to seen the Sonnen fight, man. I know you ended up getting injured around that time, but that would have been one to see for sure.
Yeah. Well, I wrestled Sonnen in college, and he tried to knee bar me in college. Yeah, which is illegal. You know, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So, I got mad. I got upset, and I think I ended up beating him by like 9 or 10 points or something like that. You know.
Okay.
Then he ended up training with me afterwards. You know, and so he's actually a really, really nice guy, man. I love Chael. Chael's awesome, man. You know.
I mean, the trash talk, he could do it, though, because, obviously,
bro, he's so witty.
Him, man. He could pull it off.
He's so witty. Like, he's so witty. In the gym, like, so nice. Like he is, like, soft-spoken in the gym.
Okay.
I'm telling you. In the gym.
Really?
Totally different. But when he's entertaining, oh, man, so witty. I mean, he would crack jokes in the gym, and we would all laugh because his wit is amazing. But his trash talk is on another level, right? So.
Yeah, you see Connor, man. You see Connor's trash talk, and then you see, Shonen. But man, no, it's a whole different ball game. That's for sure.
It is, and Chael, I love Chael, man. I respect him, honor him. I love that guy. You know, he's amazing for the sport, for MMA and wrestling. You know, so got nothing but respect and honor and love for that guy, man. So.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. He definitely seems like a cool guy. I didn't get to fully talk to him, but when UFC came to Seattle, which we need to get that back, man. We got the fan base and the arenas for it, but he was commentating and he was like right off to the side. They had like a booth, and Rory McDonald up there. You had all those guys, but got to meet him, and he was pretty cool, like you said.
Yeah, he was awesome, man. Super cool.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yep.
So and you fought Kendall Grove, and I mean, was that
Yep.
that was the first time the UFC put a 5-round fight, right? For a non-title?
Yeah, 9 title, 5-round fight, first one, yeah. And we fought
Yes.
in we fought in Abu Dhabi,
Oh
which was
man.
the first time we were over there, sheiks and stuff, like
Yeah.
I saw none but white, in the front. I was like, oh dang, these are a bunch of like royal people, like chic people, So I'm like, crazy,
It was huge, huh? It was like the
Yeah,
big
it was
times.
huge. Oh, it was big time. I was like, oh dang, this is crazy, And
Yeah.
and yeah, we fought, and then he ended up training with me. See, that's another guy, ended up training with me, So Kendall was awesome too, man. Amazing family guy, like, loves his family, loves his wife, So nothing but respect for that guy too. And that dude, man, I'm telling you, that dude can take a punch, man. I hit him so hard. Like, I was like, dang, he's still coming at me, man. Like, what? So, but yeah, he can take it and keep coming forward, man. That's a tough Hawaiian right there.
I bet. Oh man. Yeah, no, so when in Abu Dhabi, was it really truly like it is? I mean, it's money, man, like the exotics and everything. It really truly is like that, huh?
Yeah, bro, it's a man-made island in Abu Dhabi,
That's crazy.
So like there's big buildings there. I mean, there's hotels, casinos. I mean, it's amazing actually, It's amazing what ingenuity, like engineering can do, It's like crazy. But yeah, it was cool to see for sure. So
Okay.
yeah. Oh, we end up going like on a safari too, like in the deserts and stuff.
What?
Which was pretty cool. Yeah, we had a jeep. And we're like riding the dunes, like straight up, like like I thought we were gonna flip, but like it was like we were riding the dunes, and like it was so much fun. It's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
What's
what else?
the best city you've been to?
Best city I've been to. I mean, Abu Dhabi.
For any fights?
Man, the Philippines, bruh. Come on, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, like that's my culture, man.
There you go.
That's where I'm from, and where my parents are from, and
It's the place
that's
to
where
be.
it all started for my family. And the reason why I liked it so much was because, because of the people, because of the country, and the love that I got from the Philippines. But my family is there. My my aunts, my uncles, like 5 generations of my family still lives in the Philippines. So, so yeah, the Philippines. I'd have to say the Philippines. Because if I say anywhere else, my family would be mad at me.
There you go.
Yeah. But I
Good
mean,
answer.
I've gone all around the world though. I've been to Australia. I've been to Europe, Asia. So I'm saying continents now. I'm not saying countries.
Okay.
I'm saying continents. North America, South America. I've been everywhere. So it's like.
I'm sure it's beautiful outside the United States.
Bro, it's beautiful. I mean, you can find beauty anywhere. So it's like it was awesome, man. So much fun.
Have you been to Seattle before?
Yes, I have been. I've been to.
Okay.
I mean, been all around Seattle. We did the duck tour.
Okay.
Did the duck tour. We went to the fish market. Them throwing fish around. Almost got
Pike
hit by
Place.
fish.
Yeah.
The Pike's Place. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we've been all around Seattle. We went to the Needle. So. So yeah, I've been there, man. I love it. We loved it there. So,
Did you ever get to Bruce Lee's gravesite? I mean, it sounds like you have a love for Bruce Lee.
Yes, I did. I was there. Yeah, I went there.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to
See,
go there. I had to go there.
I've never done the duck tours. I've never been to Bruce Lee's gravesite yet, but definitely
Oh,
plan
really?
to. We
You live
live
out
by.
there, though. You live out there.
That's what I'm saying, man. There's so much to do, but it feels like there's not. So, we're looking into like things that we're gonna do, and but we live like by Jimi Hendrix Memorial.
Oh, okay.
We're like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from where Kurt Cobain grew up. So
Dang, that's awesome.
yeah, my sister lives over there. Man, I tell you, it is a depressing city. I mean, homelessness. You have people on drugs. I mean, it's bad.
No, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. But yeah, no, I've been to Pike Place only one time. It's crazy, man. I'm 32 years old. Lived there almost all my life. Besides moving around a couple of times, and so I mean, you got to enjoy some good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we went around. I mean, it was like, hey, what's to do here in Seattle,
Mm-hmm.
So we just did all the touristy things, So
yeah,
and then we just brought my family, everywhere, and got to experience Seattle. Seattle's best, So man, I'm blessed to do that. I was blessed to do that. I ended up, being with my family out there. So it was awesome. So cool.
Oh yeah, no, it's a nice city. I mean, it's kind of getting a little old for me, so maybe one day my girlfriend and I might just pack up and venture off. But we love our sports out here. We got a huge sports city and whatnot. So
for sure.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I mean, I do want to talk about that Chris Lieben fight, man. Dude, I don't think in all my time of watching you've ever had anybody quit on you.
Never.
Never, huh?
Never. And I studied Lieben, a lot, and I had a guy in my gym that was just like Lieben, and Brett Cooper, he could take a licking and keep on ticking, and I wouldn't hit him so hard like I did Lieben, so but I had a lot of guys like that helped me, that would emulate what Lieben would do and all that stuff. So but yeah, when I hit him in the first round, like I hit him and it was just like I hit him so hard that I thought he was gonna crumble, but he just kept walking forward. I was like,
that's crazy.
Hey, what is this dude made out of, man? Like what? So then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep dishing it out, see if he can take it, So that's what happened. And then after the first round, I think he was tired. I think he had a bad weight cut too, Like I remember like him struggling to make weight, So so that had probably had something to do with it, So but yeah, like I had him on the ground, and I'm known for my ground and pound, So But usually I knock people out on the ground. He was still alive, So
that's crazy.
He kept fighting, So dude's a tough guy, man. I got none but respect for him. He reps now. I see him around sometimes, and yeah, man, we're like buddies now. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. My buddy actually does like Muay Thai, and he just had a tournament here most recently, gi and no gi. So he tells me about the weight cutting all the time, and he's like, keep sending me all your guys' food pictures. I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man? You're torturing yourself right now. So he's a blue belt.
I used to lose 30 pounds in 5 days.
What?
Can you believe that?
30 pounds in how many days?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I think we lost a little connection there.
In 5 days.
That's crazy. How did you do
30
it?
30 pounds in 5 days. Yeah, so there's a science behind it. That's why Coach Cal is the best at what he does. And
Gotcha.
another trainer, Todd Norman, he's really good too. He actually did a weight cut with me. Todd Norman's with the Cutting Edge. He did a weight cut with me too. So that guy helped me out tremendously as well. So, but yeah, man. I mean, it was tough. Really tough. Yeah, because I did some short notice fights, and I'm a bigger dude, So, so yeah, it was tough. It was really tough. I ain't gonna lie, but I did it.
I used to watch The Ultimate Fighter, and I would see dudes on there, doing like the weight cuts and stuff, and passing out in the saunas and things like that. It's crazy, man. It's dangerous too.
Oh, it's so dangerous. So dangerous on your kidneys.
Yeah.
On your organs. Like it was. Yeah. I mean, I passed out a number of times.
Dang.
And my corner man had to wake me up. So it was bad, man. I remember Christoph Szynski slapped me in the face, like, "Wake up, Munoz, wake up!" Like, what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was some bad stuff, man.
Yeah, he would. Like I said, he told me all about his weight cutting, and he's like, "I can't wait to eat, man." I'm like, he's like, "Keep sending me your pictures," and I'm like, you're torturing yourself, man. But here's a nice slice of pizza I'm getting right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you did movies, man. I seen a little bit of your Lumpia with the Vengeance. Man, that looks so hilarious. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna make sure I watch that. But man, you started alongside Danny Trejo, but you were the main guy.
Yeah, I was a star. Yeah. Patricio Denalsa, he was the director for the movie, and executive producer was Lawrence Arte. He was a executive producer for it. And there was like a lot of other people that were instrumental in making that movie too.
Yeah.
My sister helped produce it, Rena Munoz. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. It was so cool. So cool to be in that type of production and that type of movie, and I was in Here Comes the Boom with Kevin James too. So I did that, and hey, man. I mean, I might be in another movie here coming up pretty soon. Who knows? So
okay.
We'll
I'll
see.
keep an eye out.
All right.
Yeah, for sure. How'd you get Danny Trejo, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, Danny Trejo, Patricio Denalsa was part of the production company that produced, some movies that he was in.
Yeah.
So I think he already had a prior relationship with him. So he called him up, gave him the script, and it was like, all right, let's do it. So he ended up doing it. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I know he likes to do movies, little, big, in between, whatever it is, man. Danny is a guy. He's a movie god, if you ask me.
Yeah, bro, he's amazing, bro. Like, he's so intelligent, so smart. Like, he would memorize scripts to a T, literally in minutes. Like, the dude is so bright and can act with it. It's like, wow, dude, you're good. He was really good. So yeah.
So I like to we like to always ask a question, because I know you're busy. You got to get going and doing your thing here very shortly. But we always like to end off like asking for like advice, whether that be like maybe life advice or things like that. So my buddy, like I said, he does Muay Thai. He's a blue belt, and I know he has like a huge passion and things like that. What kind of advice would you give for somebody wanting to, follow their dreams, or, when it comes to, mixed martial arts or Muay Thai, things like that? What kind of advice would you have for somebody to encourage them to keep going, or even pushing for higher goals?
Yeah, I mean, with anybody, you know, like I always talk about, it's not about perfection, but it's about progression, right? So you just got to get better every day. If you can get 1% better every day, you're doing your job, you know? Like, it's about improvement. It's about progressing. It's about learning. It's about knowing the why about what you're doing. You got to have a why, right? So all of that's super important. And, you know, like I always say, you know, if you can get 1% better every day, if you can ask questions that pertains to what you need to learn, like take for example, if you keep getting head kicked, what do you need to do to stop that? You know,
Yeah.
you keep getting leg kicked, throw up a check. You know, then guys don't want to leg kick you anymore. You know, like you got to figure out what you're doing wrong and make it right. You know, because practice doesn't make perfect. It's perfect practice makes perfect, right? You got to do it right, because if you're doing it wrong the whole time, it doesn't make it right. You know, so yeah, that's what I would say is, you know, ask a lot of questions, get close to people that are doing what you're doing, and learn from them. You know, learn from them, and yeah, just work hard, man, and then everything else will take care of itself.
Most definitely. Strive for progress, not for perfection. Nothing's ever perfect.
Right.
So,
That's right.
and I mean, if you're not learning, you're not doing it right.
You're not.
Exactly.
That's right.
You got to learn every day. You got to take something new in every day, you know? So
That's right. That's right, man. That's right.
For sure.
So,
Well, Mark, I definitely appreciate it. You've given me
no problem.
a lot of time, man. I mean, it's definitely appreciated, and hopefully we'll chat more in the future.
Yeah, man. No problem, brother. It's great to
Sounds
meet
good.
you, and good luck to you. All the best to you, man.
Appreciate you.
All right, brother.
All right. Thank you.